And welcome back to beautiful Innsbruck, at the base of the Austrian Alps on this Wednesday morning. There's a growing mystery in this part of the world. About 15 years ago, a mummy was found in the Alps not far from here. It was the oldest and best preserved mummy ever found, and the Austrians nicknamed him Ötzi. Well, lately there's been a string of mysterious and often tragic events connected to this mummy, and just last week a seventh person associated with the story died. The cause? Well, some call it the Ötzi curse. He lived before the Romans, before the Greeks, before the pyramids were built, and some here believe the 5,000-year-old mummy is now taking revenge on those who disturbed his glacial grave.
A neighbor of mine told me about that just before we left. He said that people die when they see this.
In 1991, Ötzi was discovered on the border between Austria and Italy. His body perfectly preserved, perfectly intact, thanks to the thousands of years he was frozen in ice. He spent the next 6 years at the University of Innsbruck, studied by a team of the world's leading scientists.
They found a lot of different objects. They were laid out in a nice and neat way around his body. It includes a long bow, arrows, an axe, a backpack, and all kind of things which people apparently took along on a trip at that time.
Ötzi is a huge source of pride for this region. When he was first discovered, several Austrian women expressed interest in being impregnated with his ancient sperm. Authorities said no, but not too many are asking these days, because the tale of Ötzi has taken a dark turn.
Obviously, there are sometimes series of events, and people like then to sort of interpret this by a curse, but I think this is superstition.
Superstition or not, 7 people linked to the discovery of Ötzi are dead. Dr. Konrad Spindler, an Ötzi researcher, died of complications from multiple sclerosis. Helmut Simon, who discovered Ötzi, fell while hiking in the Alps. He was found buried in ice, just like Ötzi. The man who found Simon died of a heart attack shortly after he found Simon. Dr. Rainer Hahn, a forensic expert, killed in a car crash on his way to an Ötzi lecture. Kurt Fritz, the mountain guide who first uncovered Ötzi's face, later killed in a freak avalanche. Rainer Holzel, the only journalist allowed to film the mummy's removal, died of a brain tumor. And just last week, Tom Loy, an archaeologist writing a book on Ötzi, died before his book was finished. In 1998, Ötzi moved to a fancy multi-million-dollar climate-controlled museum. It was built just for him in Bolzano, Italy, after a border survey determined he belonged to Italy, not Austria.
There is no discussion. It belongs to the province of South Tyrol, and whether it lies in Innsbruck or in Bozen, it is one of our ancestors.
He's an ancestor with enemies. Italian scientists who continue to study him recently released a new theory on how Ötzi died.
We found with radiological pictures an arrowhead, a stone in the left shoulder. Then the right hand shows a very, very deep wound related to an attack by an axe or another weapon.
Scientists concluded Ötzi was murdered. Only Ötzi knows why. Further fueling the curse of the Alps' most famous and mysterious mummy. And the mystery continues, and that, by the way, does it for me on day 3 from Innsbruck, Austria. Once again, the clue for tomorrow is this river city is known for its shopping, but the surprise is there's no Eiffel Tower. And so now I'm going to make my way out of Innsbruck on my way to day 4 of Where in the World is Matt Lauer, and I'm going to leave in style again, but of course we need something to feed our tummies on the way out, so I've got Dietmar here, who's the pastry chef from a local hotel. Is this strudel?
Yes,
strudel? Wow, that's great. Thank you
right.
very much. Dietmar, appreciate it. That's awfully nice of you.
Hey, Matt.
And by the way, yeah.
We only have one thing to say.
Stay
One
away.
sec, ho, ho, yeah?
Stay away from Ötzi.
Yes, I will. I promise you. And by the way, thanks to our crew, Brian Prankry running after me down the streets of Innsbruck, to the people on the glacier and at Nord Park and here in Innsbruck. Thanks to the crew and all the hard work of the producers. I'll see you tomorrow from day 4, folks. Back to you.
Okay, Auf Wiedersehen. It's so funny. Brian's wearing those lederhosen running down the street. So that must be quite a sight to behold.
Yep.
Thanks, Matt. Anyway, don't forget you can follow along on Matt's Where in the World tour on our website at today.msnbc.com. That was fun today, wasn't it? Up next, fall fashions for less. That's right after this.
Well, this morning we continue our special Where in the World edition of Today's Travel. Today, travel editor Peter Greenberg hits the halfway mark with Matt's third stop, Innsbruck, Austria. Peter, good to see you again.
Good morning, Al.
So, okay, we saw Matt at Stubai, at the glacier there. Big vacation spot?
Huge for skiing. I mean, when you think about this, 8 ski areas. We heard about all the ski lifts, 168 miles of downhill runs. And what's cool about this, they actually groom the slopes every day. And of course, I know this will be important to you. If you're wearing ski clothes, you get to ride the bus for free.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Now, what other winter stuff can you do there?
Well, there's ice climbing, there's rock climbing. You can actually do wonderful horse and carriage rides, plus, you know, cross-country skiing and snowmobiling. So you don't have to be a skier. You can just get out there and have fun in the snow.
Now, tell me about the Bergeyzel ski jump. They've redesigned it.
Well, first of all, they redesigned it. It's a great view. It's not just a winter destination. Go up there in the summer. It's about under $10 to get up there, and great restaurant at the top. You want great views, this is where you go.
But you don't have to do that.
I recommend against it.
Okay. We saw Campbell on the skeleton in something called Olympia World. What's that?
That's if you're totally crazy. I mean, you actually can do this. It's about accessible travel from $35 to $110. You have to do the luge, the skeleton, or the bobsled. And if you do the bobsled, make sure you go with somebody called the bobsled pilot who actually helps steer you, or you'll be an orthopedic surgeon.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Now, once you get into Innsbruck itself, gorgeous architecture.
This is medieval times. It's great. We saw part of that with Matt earlier in the show. You've got the beautiful golden roof there, 2,600 copper tiles surrounded by gold. It's a really great feeling. Old world restaurants. You want schnapps, you want strudel, this is where you go.
Yeah, the SNS,
the
schnapps
SNS.
and strudel.
Yes.
Now, I would think Innsbruck is probably a great place around Christmas time.
It is. It's really one of the hosts of the Christmas markets. And this is all throughout the region. You can do some great tours there. An 8-day tour goes for about $1,900, but it's not just Innsbruck. It's Vienna and it's Salzburg included, because the distances are not that great. And the Christmas market area is open between the 11th of November, so the end of this week, through the 28th of December. Beautiful decorations, lots of fun, sleigh rides as well.
Now, do you recommend taking in all of Austria while you're over there?
This is a country the size of Maine. The distances are not that great. It's only 178 miles from Innsbruck to Vienna, like 3 hours by train or car. So why wouldn't you do that? And if you get to Vienna, hop on the hydrofoil, go to Budapest. It's just all in the region.
So there's all that. And then what about travel packages?
Well, you've got a couple of travel packages. The one we just talked about with the Christmas market tour under $1,900. There's also a 7-day package to Innsbruck, which includes all the skiing we just talked about, all your day passes, all your lift tickets for about $1,100. It starts about that price.
And then is this just a winter place, or is there stuff to do during the summer?
Hey, the hills are alive with the sound of music. That's right. So you can do it. And then Salzburg is also a 3-hour ride from Innsbruck, so it's all manageable.
And this weekend I'll be at your place. We'll be wearing our lederhosen together.
Speak for yourself. I'm never going to forgive you for that.
All right, Peter, thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow for a trip to who knows where.